Yo, this is Mike, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus, sometimes known as Archangel the Pegasus, but not today. So I want to move away a bit, just a little, from MLP, because while I love it, I don't want that to be the only thing this channel does now. So today I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to read a fanfic and, in a sense, compare it, or at least have you guys compare it, so to speak, to its source material, so to speak. It's a RWBY fanfic. Big fan of RWBY, big fan of Rooster Teeth, the company that makes RWBY. And, so, yeah. Let's all have a good time and, let's get started, shall we? This should be fun. It was a fateful day in Beacon's library. It had been the weekend. The halls were empty, and among the variety of books and total and utter silence. Many students had already gotten their homework assignments done and class projects finished. Everyone save for 4 particular students. As it was the weekend, most students either went out to spend time in town with their friends or stayed in their dorm rooms to sleep in. Unfortunately, these 4 didn't have that luxury. As per usual, their assignments had piled up over the course of the week, and they were forced to complete them that day in the library. RWBY cringed every time she remembered Weiss scolding her to finish her assignments as soon as possible. The sympathetic expressions on her other teammates did little to ease her discomfort, especially when she gave in, and her sister had giggled that she was whipped. Jean felt guilty when Pierre had to take up her motherly tone with him. He knew how much she wanted to be treated as an equal rather than an authority figure, but his irresponsible tendencies caused her to put her foot down. He reluctantly agreed to her terms, but being the apologetic personality she is, Pierre promised she, Nora, and Ren would pick something up for him as a treat from Vale. Sun, while being a visiting student from Haven, was not exempt from any work he was assigned despite being at Beacon for the Vital Festival tournament. He had been too busy monkeying around, pun intended, helping Team RWBY with their escapades that he had lost track of time. Neptune, well, he was just there. To be more accurate, he was supervising the 3. Sage and Scarlet had nominated him to look after Sun to make sure he was getting everything done. Seeing that RWBY and Jean were there as well had been a surprise, but given that they were there for the same reasons, he decided to look after them as well. He needed time to start reading this book, so he didn't mind all that much. Things were looking well too. RWBY looked like she was concentrating on the texts in front of her, as if to make some of the jumble of words describing the history and uses of dust. Jean was writing a report on different battle techniques and well-known champions, his partner included, and how he could incorporate them into his own skills. Meanwhile, Sun was struggling to read an article about the history of faunus-human relations over the past 80 years. Yes, everything was well. That is, until a certain crimson-haired girl spoke up. Okay, we were talking about this earlier. Chocolate. Is it candy? Yes or no? The 3 boys looked up quizzically. How such a thought managed to worm it into the girl's head while researching dust, none of them could say. Neptune sighed. Weiss had warned him how often RWBY could go off topic, but he had no idea that it could be that random. RWBY, just get back to work. Weiss will really get on your case if you didn't finish because you wanted to talk about something as trivial as that. Okay, fine. RWBY threw up her arms in defeat and resumed writing her notes. After a brief silence, Jean spoke up. It's definitely candy. It's totally candy, Sun added. That's what I'm saying, RWBY exclaimed, finally getting someone to agree with her. It's absolutely not candy, Neptune said, eventually giving up trying to keep those 3 in line. It's chocolate. Chocolate's like a subsection of candy, RWBY claimed. It's like the phylum and the genus and the species and all that crap, Jean collaborated. So you're applying biology to this conversation? It's definitely not candy. That's like saying it's not dessert, Sun scoffed. Neptune raised his eyebrows as he looked at his partner. So you're saying a chocolate cake is like a candy cake? No, that's just cake. I'm saying candy is candy. There is totally chocolate candy. It's like how a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square, RWBY interjected. Here, let me check. Neptune grabbed the basket of Halloween candy that was on the center of the table the four were sitting around and was still being given out despite it had been a couple of days since the holiday. He pulled out a small wrapper containing 2 chocolate malt treats. The Whopper's wrapper just says malted milk balls. That's it. Sun gagged. Ugh. Whoppers are gross. You take that back. Ruby grabbed the monkey faunus by the collar of his shirt, reducing the distance between their faces. This would have been a more romantic gesture had it not been for 1, the fact that neither of them had an attraction towards the other, and 2, the hard, cold silver glare the girl was giving him. Whoppers! Delicious! The girl growled. And thus, one of the greatest arguments of remnant history began. On Halloween, you get candy and half of it is chocolate. It's Hershey's chocolate bar, not a candy bar. At that point, Sun and Neptune were standing up to make a point. Just like how M&Ms are candy-coated chocolate. Then one part of it is candy. There's no such thing as candy-coated, it's just candy. Remembering one of her social media sites had implemented a poll system, Ruby took out her scroll in the midst of the yelling. We're gonna need to poll this thing right away. I'm just trying to say, the cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster are 1,000 times better than the breadsticks from Olive Garden, Neptune cried. Thank you, Sun nodded in agreement. I'd go there just for the biscuits, considering I don't like seafood, which really makes hanging out with Blake awkward. What does the poll say, Ruby? Jean implored from his side of the table. 52% for cheddar biscuits! Jean growled. None of them had ever seen the blonde this passionate about such a topic. Looking in no direction in particular, he spoke. People out there, you go to Olive Garden. It's a classy place. You're a classy person. Objection! Neptune pointed his finger towards Jean. Who are you talking to? Child man, Sun said, pulling Neptune's hand down. Let him have this. Thank you for moderating, Jean replied in a sassy manner. Doesn't matter. Biscuits are just gonna win anyway. Jean's face looked unamused, but nevertheless, he continued. Look, it's a simple dish. We're always saying how things are much better on a stick, but how about the stick being edible itself? Cheddar biscuits are dense and crap. Breadsticks are fluffy, modest, and the perfect pre-meal meal. And it's never-ending! Biscuits are never-ending too. They're lighter and flakier than your breadsticks will ever be. So what you're saying is that you like a treat that just crumbles all around you and is difficult to eat. I don't want bread beef jerky because that's what breadsticks are. Oh no, you didn't. Standing up, both Sun and Jean glared at each other. Sun began with his argument. The breadstick is like a dime a dozen prostitute. Whoa, whoa, whoa! You pull up. You flash some money. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. The cheddar biscuits. That's exotic. That's like from Atlas. What the heck? No, John protested. But despite it, Sun continued. From Mistral. They're not that exotic. I'll bet that breadsticks, Neptune started. Neptune, if you want to argue, you have to stand up, Jean yelled. I mean, cheddar sticks are still pretty cool, Ruby squeaked. X-ray! Jean yelled, putting on a pair of X-ray glasses. Vav! Neptune countered as he pulled out a teacup from seemingly nowhere. It's X-ray! Vasilius! I think you're wrong, Ark, because it's Vav! Boys, I think we could all argue that Hilda's the best character. Shut it, Ruby, they barked in union. Yeah, Ruby, because it's totally Mogar, Sun said with pride. Oh, here we go! Can we all agree that there are more cookie varieties than chocolate chip? Ruby screamed. Yes! The others yelled in agreement. In a seemingly random moment, Sun pulled open his shirt to expose his bare chest while simultaneously yelling out his arguments about their latest discussion. Sun, that would make much more sense if you actually kept your shirt buttoned! Oh, can it, Neptune? What is going on here? The four nervously glanced at the library entrance to see a few familiar partners of theirs. The one who had demanded was Weiss, of course, and she was accompanied by Pyrrha, Sage, and Scarlet. Aside from Weiss, the group looked dumbstruck by the passionate argument that occurred. Oh, Weiss, Ruby stuttered. I can explain. No need, the heiress said icily. From your incomplete homework, I can tell you haven't done anything productive in the past few hours. Past few? Ruby looked out the window. It had indeed been nighttime. And from the looks of it, the sun went down far too long ago. Whoops. Whoops is right. When I heard from Blake and gang that you haven't returned when the library was about to close, I thought you were finally getting your act together and finishing up all your work, and then some. I had my hopes far too high. Ruby nervously laughed and then saw how the boys were handling their predicament. Jean, how much did you accomplish today? Pyrrha asked. Despite her sincere expression and tone, Jean was positive that she was asking a rhetorical question. Well, I finished some of my makeup work and some things for Monday, Jean said, smiled sheepishly. Pyrrha sighed, but smiled nonetheless. Well, you still have some progress, but you better finish everything tomorrow. Got it? Yes, ma'am! Good. Pyrrha handed him a brown paper bag, which John quizzically stared at but accepted. Nora, Ren, and I went to Red Lobster for dinner in town. We saved you some cheddar biscuits at least. Oh, great. The pair had walked off back to their dorm, but not without Jean sending a sneer towards Sun and Neptune. The two snickered, but then faced the other half of their team. You two sure took your time, Sage deadpanned. Yeah, well, things happen, Sun rubbed the back of his head. Understatement of the year. But hey, after seeing that, Neptune gestured towards John and his cheddar biscuits, I'd say it was worth it. Sun grinned and laughed. Yeah, well, I'm hungry. Want to get something? Unfortunately for you two, the cafeteria's closed and no more airships are going back to Vale, Scarlet stated. Aw, man. But you two are lucky enough that we saved you something from dinner. Really? Thanks a bunch, Scar. We owe you. So, what you get us? Sage handed them a brown bag that wafted a pleasant aroma. He somewhat struggled to keep the food aside during dinner, but Scarlet had found a way to keep him from eating it for the sake of their potentially hungry teammates. However, when Sun and Neptune looked inside, breadsticks from Olive Garden, typical. And thus, half of Team Sun went back to the visitors' dorm with two moping man-children. Ruby glanced back at Weiss, who was also witnessing the others and their conversations. She nervously smiled and attempted to sneak her way out, but a hand quickly grabbed the younger girl by the hood and pulled her back. You're not going anywhere, young lady. We're staying here until you finish everything. Ruby sighed in defeat. Ah, snickerdoodles. The end. Most awkward bow I've ever given. Anyway, yeah. Now to the comparison part to the podcast. Roll it.
All right, we were talking about this. Chocolate, is it candy, yes or no?
It's absolutely not candy.
I mean,
Yes.
yes,
It's
chocolate
not.
is
It is
candy.
absolutely
for
sure.
sure.
It's a subsection
What is your
of
argument
candy.
for it not
Carrie
being
is
candy?
fucking ludicrous.
It's
Yeah.
chocolate. That's my
Yeah.
argument.
Which is like
Yes.
a subset. It's like there's the phylum and the genus, species, all
That's
that
like
shit.
saying it's not dessert. It's
That's
also
like-
dessert.
So are you saying
It's
that
like
a
every-
chocolate cake is a candy cake?
No, I'm saying it's fucking cake.
But a
But
chocolate
chocolate
candy bar
candy is candy.
Candy.
But
Yeah.
it's not chocolate candy, it's just chocolate.
No, it's absolutely chocolate candy.
Let me see that bucket. Let me
It's
see the
like
bucket. Give me the
how
bucket.
a square can be a rectangle, but a rectangle can't be a square. That's
See?
the logic. Also,
Original
Whoppers are
malted
amazing.
milk
Fuck you,
balls.
Michael.
That's it.
What's that?
Michael says Whoppers suck. I love
Whoppers.
Whoppers.
Are shit.
So-
the multiple balls?
yeah.
That candy? Oh, it sucks.
Fuck you,
Whoppers
Bar.
suck.
Like
nowhere does it say
Warheads.
candy.
Those are
Carrie,
great.
Accept it, okay?
Perfect.
Little
No.
chocolate like that are just fucking candy. You get candy for Halloween, and half of it is chocolate. Blades.
Hershey bar. That's chocolate. It's not candy.
It's
You get
both.
M&Ms.
It's both.
They
It's
coat
both.
it.
It's candy.
They coat it in the candy, and then it's an M&M, and then it's candy.
This is
What the fuck
absolutely
is
a
the
child
candy
podcast.
element of M&M?
Duh,
If there was
It's a
a
hard
thing,
shell.
the
No,
candy
no,
coating?
he's right on that.
Yeah,
it is,
I do
it
agree
is
with
sold
that.
as candy-coated
My
chocolate.
my point is,
But don't they
Carrie's
sell
like, then
Hershey-
they put the candy on. What part is the candy?
I
There's
don't
no
know,
such
is there-
thing as candy.
can you
Carrie.
buy-
Candy's not
Okay,
a
then
thing.
there is no candy. It's just chocolate. Then
There's no
everything
candy
is chocolate.
exists at all.
Starburst chocolate.
I
Lollipops
guess
chocolate.
so.
You're eating
Everything's
imaginary
chocolate.
shit all the time.
Yeah.
Halloween is not real.
I'd just like to see where it's like, all right, bring in the candy, and it's just like a truck filled with
and then,
some
like,
mysterious
the Bond
thing that is
villain
candy.
coats him in the M&M shell, and he's coated in candy.
Do you think you can get?
And he's the candy man.
Is there a candy that is just the candy coating on an M&M? Like it's just that?
I'm sure somewhere.
Apparently, it's called candy. Yeah. Bring in
nerds.
some candy, and he gives you that.
I was gonna bring this up when we were talking about the chocolate candy thing.
Life
You
goes
sound just
on.
like Alex. So Alex is a
Which
modler
one?
here.
Oh,
was.
okay.
You're Alex.
Thank you.
The
No, he's
crazy
Carrie.
one.
Yeah.
Alex refuses to accept any other cookie aside from chocolate chip as a cookie. If
Yeah.
it's not chocolate chip cookie, then it is a treat.
Doesn't make sense.
That's
It's like
bullshit.
Carrie with his
It's a
fucking
peanut butter
candy
cookie.
nonsense.
And he goes, no, it's treat. Why do they call it Tiff's treats, not Tiff's cookies? It's like,
'Cause shut the fuck
Because
up.
it's alliteration.
It's
It's
alliteration.
pleasant.
He
Yeah.
calls them
Exactly.
sweet treats.
He goes, Google image search. Google image search cookie. What comes up? It's all chocolate chip. There's
Yeah.
no such thing as any other cookie.
Yeah, that's like Google search fucking ice cream. You
I
get
told-
chocolate
yeah, I
ice
was like,
cream.
Google
That doesn't
search
mean
NBA
chocolate ice
players,
cream.
it's
Whoa,
like gonna be
whoa,
black
I'm
tea.
pretty sure if you
And it
Google
was.
search ice cream, you're gonna get vanilla.
No, you'll get chocolate and
You
some
get a bit of
vanilla will
both.
be in there.
I'd actually say there's probably going to be more. Can we get a poll on this?
I'm
Patrick, could
working
you
on
do
it.
this one? Oh, Patrick's not here. That's right. It's all that's.
No, that's
us
bullshit.
assholes.
Snickerdoodle's my favorite cookie, and I'll damn you if you say that's not a cookie.
I'm going to say
damn you,
chocolate chip
Alex.
oatmeal is my favorite.
What?
I don't like
I
chocolate
like
chip
cookies.
oatmeal?
I like
Yeah.
the additional.
See,
Oh,
all
holy
right.
fu-
See, well,
there's
there's-
some.
It is
there's some
2015.
colors
That
on
is
there
a
I'm not even
rainbow
seeing.
of ice
50
cream.
kinds of
Damn
ice
it.
cream,
Okay,
actually.
real
There's
quick.
everything. There's
Baskin Robbins
chocolate,
ruined
there's
it.
vanilla,
Google
there's
cookie.
orange
Just
shit,
cookie.
there's green
I hope
shit.
we all learned a
Normal
little bit
cookie.
about color today.
So that really... No.
All right, is this acceptable? Hey, internet, is chocolate considered candy? Yes, no.
yes.
That's fine.
Okay, let's take this time to check in on our Twitter poll.
Hey guys, I'm Gus.
Yeah, should you... Is it time for the second ad read yet?
No, she
I
hasn't
feel
shown
like
me
it's
yet.
close. Yeah, but she just left,
Ooh,
didn't
things
she?
are looking good for you, Carrie.
Oh,
You think she
yeah?
went to go
Yeah.
find more darts so
Probably.
she could
Let's continue to shit
She's
on
gonna
you.
throw
Okay.
rocks at me.
To
instead.
revisit too, is it not labeled on the bar? It's like Hershey's chocolate candy bar.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
not.
Does
I
it
have
not
had
say
one
that?
so far.
How the
If it
fuck
doesn't
did we
say
come back
that,
to that all of a
I don't
sudden?
I
know.
wanted to check
I'm
the
drunk.
poll. Currently, at 3,126 votes. 84% say yes, chocolate is candy. 16% say no.
84%.
You said it was looking good for me.
No, I said it was looking bad for you.
Oh.
Things are not looking good for Carrie.
Oh.
Carrie.
Yeah.
We're keeping
Just
the shit on
throw
Carrie
in
train
the
rolling.
towel now.
That's a mid B.
It's not going to
in
tip
America.
back.
Mid B.
In America, apparently
Australia's not going to wake up and save you, okay? That's not how
Australia could wake up and they still wouldn't save you. You know how many people are in
I don't think Australia has chocolate.
Also, they wouldn't
No.
eat Hershey's. They eat like Cadbury or something. It comes down to the conversation we had. Like, what do you prefer? Red Lobster cheddar biscuits or
Yeah.
Olive Garden breadsticks?
Both.
Oh, cheddar biscuits.
Right.
Both.
Yeah. This is why you're wrong.
There's no
Both.
question there.
No,
If
no,
you
to
had-
choose one.
If you had
to
to
choose
choose
one.
If you had to choose one, you go with
Carrie,
the cheddar
Carrie,
biscuits.
I
Oh
already-
my god, I don't know.
Can you
You've already
Twitter pull
lost
this?
us.
Can you Twitter pull this? Would
Yeah,
you like to
sure.
Twitter pull that?
All right, here we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, you hit this one, Carrie.
We're gonna take two of
I'm
Twitter poll.
telling you, the
I
cheddar
couldn't
biscuits.
decide.
I fucking hate Red Lobster just because I don't like seafood. I love their cheddar biscuits.
That's the only reason to go.
It's the only reason to
You
go.
forced Lindsay to order something, and you're just there with a.
If I
with
have
cheddar
to
biscuits?
go, I'll get steak and cheddar biscuits.
Yeah, show us some shrimp shit. Give me some biscuits.
Yeah,
shrimp,
that's fine.
shrimp,
I'm
fish
cool with the
shit,
shrimp shit.
steak and cheddar biscuits.
Yes.
Sometimes just the cheddar biscuits.
I really couldn't decide. I would ruin that.
Well, you
deal.
have to. Shut the fuck up and pick one.
But I don't know. They're
Pick
both
one
so
now,
damn good.
okay?
You look like you're trying to blow something up with your
cheddar stick.
mind.
You're gonna. It's not cheddar sticks.
Cheddar
aren't a-
sticks. I
No,
want cheddar
Cheddar
sticks.
stick.
You're gonna say cheddar biscuit.
Is that
Just
fucking
say
Chex
it.
Mix?
Lindsay, let's
What the
make
fuck?
cheddar sticks
Say
so
it.
then you can be right.
Done.
Get over it, okay? It's cheddar biscuits. We all know it. They're amazing. They're delicious. They're
Combine the
fluffy.
two.
Oh,
I
it's
just
so
like
good.
I just like the simplicity of the breadstick, man.
Hey, you spelled cheddar.
Miles.
Oh,
cheddar? Are you
great.
what?
No.
Oh, I'm at a.
There's two D's.
There are. Thank you. No,
There's one A.
Okay, guys. RL means
The
red
cheddar,
lobster.
the better.
Did you run out of characters?
Yeah.
What short story are you writing?
How the? What did you write?
you just ask what is better, then you make a poll.
No. You only
And then
get like
you say
20
check-
per thing for the poll. You only get 20 characters per poll.
Change all
okay,
the ands
okay.
to the and symbol.
I now see the confusion. Okay.
Biscuit.
So you say like, what's better, Red Lobster cheddar biscuits?
I said if you only had one, what would it be?
But I'm saying,
Olive Garden breadsticks.
oh,
but you put that.
I
in
would
the-
actually
you
say
put
I would
that
say
in the
never-ending
text.
breadsticks.
Oh,
that
now
in
you're
the
just trying to
text.
fucking the cheddar
Yeah,
biscuits are never ending too.
Now you're trying to make it like cost
I'm just saying,
effective.
no, that was not my intent.
Well,
I just
no,
know
now
that
you're
there's
just
a
saying-
never-ending soup,
Yeah.
salad, and breadsticks.
No. How about
Package
Red
deal.
Lobster? I'm gonna do RL cheddar biscuits or
Goosebumps.
OG piece
Carl
of shit.
Stein? He's great.
How's that
That's
sound?
not allowed. You
Oh,
can't
is
do
that too far?
That's too far.
a little biased.
I'm just gonna do breadsticks, plain breadsticks.
Olive Garden
Done.
breadsticks.
I'm gonna do
Olive Garden breadsticks.
lightly salted breadsticks.
Just
No,
fucking type
what?
breadsticks, you son of a bitch, before the
Oh,
podcast
you know
is
they are
over.
lightly salted.
Oh.
Cheddar?
What?
So far, we're at 52% cheddar biscuits.
Oh, give me camera 4. Give me camera 4. You vote for those motherfucking never-ending
Cheddar
breadsticks.
biscuits!
Do it.
Look,
do
my
it.
brother-
All right, hold
Do
on.
both.
Now,
Stop.
we're gonna do this
Wait.
presidential style. You're gonna get a camera in a second.
Wait.
People out there, you go to the Olive Garden. Of course, it's a classy place. You're a classy fellow and or lady, right? You need to prepare yourself for this never-ending salad, this never-ending
Objection.
soup.
Carrie, shut the fuck
Gonna go
up. Let
ahead.
him
You're gonna
have
go
it.
ahead and go with Thank you for moderating this, Michael. You're doing a great job.
It's fine, just
I
because
can
I
see
know
why they chose you to have
we
a podcast.
don't need the support because Cheddar Biscuits are going to win anyway. So
All
I'll
right,
just
well,
let
now
you
you're being
have.
biased.
I'll
Now you're
let
being
you
a bad
have
moderator.
it, but that's fine.
Look, it's not like it's a simple dish. Okay, it's not
So
like
simple, you
kicking
can get
down
it
the door,
anywhere.
kicking down the door, throwing its cheddar all over you, being all dense and shit. It's just a light, fluffy, modest pre-meal meal, and it's great. All right, go ahead and give Carrie his turn.
So the cheddar biscuits that are never ending
Yep.
are lighter and flakier than your breadsticks will ever be.
So you're saying you like a treat that just crumbles all around you and is difficult to eat.
Crumbles in your
you
mouth.
know what I want? I don't want bread beef jerky because that's what breadsticks
Okay.
are.
Damn,
You
dude.
fucking tear that shit. It hurts your tooth.
It's
God damn
hard.
it.
hurts
God damn it.
I have
hard.
very sensitive teeth, and the cheddar soothes me.
Oh, well, the thing is,
And
too,
it
the cheddar
calms me?
biscuits, I mean, they melt in your mouth.
They do.
They
I
rip
have to
right
chew.
off.
Are you 90? Because you could go to Red Lobster. You just kind of mash that shit in. Oh, and it's
Spoon it in.
Yeah, you don't even need teeth. It's
breadstick. You'll fucking tear your neck. You'll snap it.
God damn.
You could breathe on the biscuit, and it'll start to melt, and then you can just kind of suck up the goop.
Yeah. Yeah.
The structural integrity of these biscuits is getting more and more questionable.
What
Yeah.
I'm getting at is that fucking Olive Garden breadsticks are like the rugged girl next door, and cheddar biscuits are like the slutty, more
I'll
attractive
bet-
one that you
yeah,
kind of have to
I'll
work
bet-
for.
No. If I
but
were to
it's pretty
compare the
easy
two, the
once you
cheddar
get
biscuits
there.
would be like the kind of heavy set one that wears a little too much makeup, but she'll fuck you. So there.
What?
Whereas
Whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
breadsticks,
whoa, whoa.
the
No.
breadsticks
Thick.
are like, well, hold on.
Thick.
The breadsticks are kind of like.
Unacceptable.
Objection. Say
Let this
objection.
go on too long.
Say
Do you want to
objection.
stand real quick? Go
I'll
ahead.
stand. I
Yeah,
talked about standing
Yeah.
earlier.
You
I'm going to
stand up
stand.
for those
Okay.
biscuits.
The fucking breadsticks are like the dime a dozen whores.
Whoa!
You pull up, you flash some money. It doesn't matter which one gets in. They're all the same. Okay, that's the breadsticks. You get the cheddar biscuits. That's exotic. Okay,
Yeah.
that's like from the Philippines.
What the fuck? No,
or
no.
it's like from Japan.
That's like the Midwest.
or
I'll bet
something.
I bet you
That's
breadsticks-
awesome.
Carrie, if you're gonna talk, you have to stand.
Stand up right now. Don't
The
yell into my
breadsticks-
microphone. Yell into your
The
own
breadsticks-
microphone.
All right, I'm
I'm
sorry.
at dick
We
level.
have a
all of you.
ponytail.
If you're gonna talk.
Look, if the breadsticks were a girl, they'd have a ponytail, and we don't need that.
Correct.
Whoa! What are you saying about girls with ponytails?
Ponytails are great. Why do you hate them?
No, I'm just saying that.
No, we had this
bangs
talk
are
once. No, we
better.
had this talk. I
Okay,
was
can
talking
we
about
sit
how I
down?
like
Can we-
ponytails,
everyone
and you were
back
like,
down,
no,
back
girl
down.
can have ponytail. I don't even want to know her forehead exists. That is a quote by Carrie
What does that even mean?
I mean,
I'm
it-
sitting back
I'll,
down. I'm
I'll
sitting
agree
back
with
down.
Miles. I don't get it.
It means
but I
that-
still agree with you. The cheddar biscuits, they're better than breadsticks. They're
the
delicious.
fuck?
You can't get
They
them
really
anywhere
are.
else. I don't even like Red Lobster, and I'll go there just for the cheddar biscuits. And if I'm gonna go there, you're gonna go there because they're amazing.
Can we add
Are
a
you gonna
fourth
go to Olive
sponsor?
Garden just for the
Red
fucking
Lobster,
breadsticks?
cheddar
Never.
biscuits.
No, Olive
Never.
Garden, be our sponsor.
You will never go to Olive Garden just for the breadsticks. Your ass will be at Red Lobster every week to shove that cheddar down your hole, and you know it, you fat fuck.
I love cheddar sticks.
Cheddar sticks.
Well said.
Goddamn.
Well said. God damn it! If nothing else, you're a charismatic speaker.
All right,
Michael.
thanks, Miles. You'll be on off topic.
So why do you hate women's
Not Carrie.
foreheads, Carrie? Do a poll. Do bears plug up their asses? Yes.
That's not a poll. That's not a poll. That's just
most-
asking.
yeah,
a
That's
question.
just asking a question.
The
That's
most
not
important
settling.
poll will be answered at the end of this podcast, and that will be the cheddar biscuit Olive Garden breadstick discussion, which last I checked, cheddar biscuit was winning. And my
where
brother
we at?
What's the
also
update? What's the
voted
update?
for
What's the
cheddar
update?
biscuits.
50-50.
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
This is
Can you please
bullshit.
screen
Oh my God.
for me? Can you just screen cap that?
Yeah,
Because
for when-
I
yeah.
feel like Michael's persuasive argument / shouting is
Also,
gonna be
I'm just gonna
what takes
throw
the
out
cake.
there
I hope-
that,
hopefully.
Hopefully.
I felt like I was watching a presidential
You're a
debate.
shouter, but you've got no voice.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I pre-shouted. I came a little too soon.
pre-shat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
shit. Cheddar biscuits are back to 51%.
Damn. Wow.
Fuck.
Wow.
The hashtag makes me laugh every time. We still have 23 hours left. I don't have my glasses. We have plenty of time.
God.
Plenty of time to settle
I
this.
feel like I helped tip it in our favor because I
little
retweeted
bit.
your
You
tweet,
did.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "You're fucking dumb if you don't pick cheddar biscuits."
Well, you
So
know,
I tried to push that 3%.
all you did was
see
tell
that.
speak the
That's
truth.
a little
You
nothing.
gave it that,
That's
you gave
my
it that,
opinion.
You gave it that Fox News spin.
That's
what
my
you did.
opinion.
This is
Here's
a no
my
spin
here's
zone.
my
Whoa,
opinion. Pick
getting
it.
political.
Pick it, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
What were you thinking?
What is
I will
that?
snap this. I will break it. It didn't break.
Just end it. Just end it. Thank you for watching the podcast. It's utter chaos.
Go home.
Bye. Fade out.
So I hope you all enjoyed that. I know I did, and I like this story. I, of course, hope you go and actually read it. I know mostly maybe you were satisfied by my reading, but if you weren't, just go read it. It's by Master Hamsters. Again, I'm going to ask that person, I don't know, male or female, but what the name mean, like where that came from. But yeah, I genuinely enjoyed reading it the first time, and then I realized later, much later, that it was based on that podcast, and so I felt like as it suddenly reoccurred or reemerged into my mind, it's like, I should make a video about this, and I did. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like, possibly subscribe, but I really want your comments. That's what I want the most. Because I'm genuinely curious about, the debates about cookies and, of course, chocolate, candy or not, and, of course, the big one, breadsticks versus, cheddar biscuits. Cheddar biscuits all the way for me, but, again, also candy. Chocolate is definitely candy. And, finally, yeah, Oreos are superior to chocolate chip anyway. So, please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed it. And this has been Mike, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus, and please come back for more. Again, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus.